Super Tuesday, a pivotal moment in the American political landscape, is upon us. This day, the 5th of March 2024, is marked by the largest number of states holding primaries or caucuses, and it's a day when the future of American politics could be significantly shaped. At stake, over a third of all available delegates for both the Republican and Democratic nominations. The stakes are high, the tension palpable, as candidates vie for the support of voters across 15 states and 1 territory. On the Democratic side, President Biden stands as the frontrunner, facing no significant challenges. His leadership and experience have solidified his position within the party, making the road to nomination seemingly clear for him. Yet, in the unpredictable arena of politics, a surprising turn of events is never off the table. On the Republican front, former President Donald Trump is leading the nomination race over former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley. Trump's unique brand of politics, which propelled him to victory in 2016, continues to resonate with a substantial portion of the Republican voter base. But Super Tuesday is more than just a numbers game. It's a test of political strategy, of the ability to connect with a diverse electorate, and of endurance in what can be a grueling race. It's a day when frontrunners can solidify their leads, underdogs can rise, and candidates can be forced to reevaluate their campaigns. Beyond the individual candidates, Super Tuesday is a reflection of the larger political climate. It's a snapshot of the nation's mood, its hopes, its fears, and its aspirations. It's a day that can echo through history, shaping not just the next 4 years, but potentially the course of the nation for decades to come. With the stage set for Super Tuesday, the future of American politics hangs in the balance. As the candidates make their final pitches and voters prepare to cast their ballots, the nation watches, waits, and wonders. Who will emerge victorious? Who will fall short? And what will Super Tuesday mean for America? On the Republican side, 15 states are ready to host their GOP contests. There's a lot at stake here, with the potential to significantly reshape the political landscape. With primaries in 13 states and caucuses in 2, the Republican Party is bracing for a day of intense competition. It's worth noting that 11 of these states open their doors to participation beyond registered Republicans, thus broadening the field and adding an extra layer of unpredictability to the contests. Let's take a trip down memory lane to 2016, when Donald Trump emerged victorious in 8 of these states. Fast forward to 2024, and Trump's influence remains strong, with his dominance clearly visible in this year's GOP contests. But it's not all smooth sailing for the former president. In the DC Republican primary, he suffered a loss to Nikki Haley, the former UN ambassador. This has sparked intrigue and added a dash of suspense to the race, making for an even more exciting Super Tuesday. The stakes are high, and the candidates are well aware of the potential rewards and pitfalls. Super Tuesday could serve as a turning point, a moment that could either cement an existing lead or provide a much-needed boost for those lagging behind. In the face of such high stakes, the candidates have been pulling out all the stops, engaging in rigorous campaigns and leaving no stone unturned in their quest for victory. After all, the results of Super Tuesday could have far-reaching implications, shaping the trajectory of the Republican Party and the nation's political future. As we inch closer to Super Tuesday, anticipation is building, and the tension is palpable. The candidates are gearing up for a day of fierce competition, with their sights set on victory. The Republican race is heating up, with the results of Super Tuesday poised to shape the future of the party. On the Democratic front, primaries are set to take place in 15 states, with an intriguing race underway. This includes the same states as the Republicans, with the single exception of Alaska. The Pacific Territory of American Samoa is also hosting Democratic caucuses, adding to the breadth of this significant day. The outcome of these contests will play a crucial role in determining the Democratic nominee. Remember, to secure the Democratic nomination, a candidate needs to gather 1,968 delegates. With 1,420 Democratic delegates up for grabs on Super Tuesday, the battles in these states are not to be taken lightly. Let's not forget about the Iowa Democratic caucuses, held earlier in January. In a bid to adhere to the Democratic National Committee's primary calendar, these caucuses were conducted via mail-in ballots. The results of this caucus, yet to be released, are eagerly anticipated and will add to the unfolding drama of Super Tuesday. Now let's talk about some unexpected developments. Marianne Williamson, a name you might remember from the early stages of the race, has revived her campaign. This came after she outperformed Representative Dean Phillips in the Michigan primary. Phillips, a long-shot candidate from Minnesota, has launched a brave bid against President Biden, potentially facing defeat in his home state. Despite the odds, his determination adds an interesting twist to the race. Meanwhile, President Biden continues to enjoy his front-runner status within the party, with no serious contenders in sight. However, the dynamics of political races can change rapidly, and it remains to be seen how the events of Super Tuesday will shape the course of the Democratic nomination. In the end, it's the voters who will decide the fate of the Democratic contenders. The decisions made in polling booths across these states and in American Samoa will echo through the remainder of the race. The Democratic race, filled with surprises, is gearing up for a crucial Super Tuesday. Delegates, the lifeblood of the nomination process, are at the core of Super Tuesday's significance. With a whopping 865 Republican delegates and 1,420 Democratic delegates on the line, Super Tuesday is more than just a date on the calendar. It's a high-stakes game of numbers that could make or break a candidate's run for the nomination. Let's break it down. To secure the Republican nomination, a candidate must amass 1,215 delegates. On the other hand, the Democratic nomination requires 1,968 delegates. With such a significant number up for grabs on Super Tuesday, it's no wonder it's often viewed as a race within a race. But what does this mean for our candidates? Well, let's imagine for a moment, say a candidate sweeps Super Tuesday, winning the majority of the available delegates. That candidate would not only gain a substantial lead, but also the momentum and perception of electability, which could further propel their campaign forward. On the flip side, a poor performance on Super Tuesday could spell disaster for a candidate. Falling too far behind in the delegate count can be a tough gap to close, and in politics, perception is reality. A candidate trailing in delegates might struggle to convince voters, and more importantly, superdelegates, they have a viable path to the nomination. As we inch closer to Super Tuesday, each candidate will be perfecting their strategies, aiming to win over voters and secure as many delegates as possible. It's a delicate balancing act between appealing to the broad national electorate and catering to the specific needs and wants of individual states. So, as the dust settles on Super Tuesday, the delegate count will provide a clear picture of where each candidate stands in the race for the nomination. It's not just about who wins the most states, it's about who wins the most delegates. With such a significant number of delegates at stake, Super Tuesday is set to be a game changer in the nomination process. As the clock ticks down to Super Tuesday, anticipation is building across the nation. This day of reckoning, March 5th of 2024, promises to be a pivotal moment in the race for the presidential nomination. With the highest number of delegates up for grabs, the stakes are higher than ever before. The candidates, both Republicans and Democrats alike, are gearing up for this high-stakes showdown. They're crisscrossing the country, rallying supporters and making their final pitches to voters. The air is thick with the promise of change, the hope of victory and the fear of defeat. On the Democratic side, President Biden, unchallenged in his party, is confidently striding towards Super Tuesday. His status as the front-runner remains unshaken, yet the underdogs, Representative Dean Phillips and Marianne Williamson, are not going down without a fight. They're banking on a surprise upset to shake up the race and keep their presidential dreams alive. Over in the Republican camp, former President Donald Trump, leading the pack, is fighting tooth and nail to reclaim his old seat. He's up against former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, who, despite trailing behind, has shown she's not afraid to put up a fight. The countdown to Super Tuesday is not just about the candidates, though. It's about the voters. It's about the people who will cast their ballots and decide the fate of the nation. Their choice, their voice, will shape the future of America. The impact of Super Tuesday is far-reaching. It could solidify the frontrunners' leads, or it could give the underdogs a much-needed boost. It could bring clarity to a muddled race, or it could throw it into further chaos. But no matter what happens, it will indubitably change the course of the presidential race. One thing is certain, Super Tuesday is more than just a date on the calendar. It's a turning point in the race for the presidency.